Good evening and welcome to True Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. Without further ado, I want to apologize for not uploading because I'm having problems because I do it on my phone and I'm doing my best. I'm trying to save up some money so I can get a laptop, a camera and a microphone. So hopefully soon I'll have those things. But until then, I'm going to just give it to y'all like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this encounter. Now, this encounter right here, this encounter is unknown. She did not give me the location. And I didn't force her into telling me. I was just happy enough just to get this encounter. So we're going to get right into it now. So this lady name, who I'm going to use, is Miss Pat. Now, Miss Pat said she was coming up on retirement and she had found this house with some land. So, she buys it and she moves in. First year, all she doing is just hooking the house up, her furniture and stuff like that. Just getting it just the way that she like it. Now, she said her hobby was flowers. So, summertime, she would plant flowers. So, she planted her garden and stuff like that. And every day, she would go out there, and water them. And just sit on the back porch. She said after about 2 weeks, she noticed that, animals used to come down, on her property. She would see deers. She would see raccoons. And she would see possums, stuff like that. Rabbits, all type of little small critters. And she said she used to see these, animals every day. Every day like clockwork. She go out, check on her flowers, sit on her back porch, and she used to watch the animals as they come down. And she used to do this, like I said, every day. Flowers, porch, watch the animals come down. So she said she did this over time every day. And then one day she went out, she said she noticed that the animals didn't come down. So she went back out there the next day, as always. They didn't come down. She said for about 2 weeks, she didn't see nothing. So she said around the third week, she goes out, and after she check on her garden, her flowers, she sits on the back porch. And she said while she's sitting there, she noticed this black figure up in the tree line. She noticed this black figure just on all fours, staring and looking in her direction. So when she looks real good, she noticed that the ears on these things are standing straight up and they're long. So she's saying, oh, that's just a dove. But she looking at this thing really good. She said that the front of this dove, what she thought it was huge. She said the front of this, it was just humongous. She said it had the head on this thing, she said, it looked like the size of a stern wheel. Said the head was huge. So she sitting there and she watching this, watching this thing. So she said she gets up, walks down. She stands right beside her little flower garden. And these are her words. And I believe everything she say. She say she started to call. Call for this dove. She say, so while she doing that, the dog, she said, tilted his head, looking at her, and then put it back up straight. She say, so she turns around, she goes in the house, goes in the refrigerator, and grabs some chicken out that she had the night before. Goes back out the back, goes right there by the flower garden, and she take those chicken and she throws it in the direction to where that dog at. So she stands there. She said that's when she see this dog started to walk. She said, but when this dog was walking, she said it walked it funny. So she said she don't know if it was hurt because of the way it was walking, but she said it walked it funny. Said this dog walked to where that chicken was, and it took its head and it kneeled down and it sniffed. She said, and after this dog started sniffing, said this dog ate that chicken. So she turned around, went, sat on the back porch. Said the dog then held his head up. It looked again in that direction, tilted his head to the side again, and just put it back straight, still looking at her. So she gets up, goes in the house. She don't comes back out no more that day. She say, but while she's in there, laying in the bed sleep, she say that she could hear this tapping sound on her window. She hear these tapping sounds on the window. She say, but she pays no attention, so she finally falls asleep. She say the next day, same routine, she goes out there, take the food, goes back in the house. She'll stand in the doorway. She will watch this creature come down, eat the food. It would stand there for a while. Said then this creature would turn around, walk back up in the tree line. She said after about a week, she took the food out there, but she didn't go back inside the house, she said, this time. She said she sat down in her chair, and she said she wound up falling asleep. So she said while she was asleep, she heard this creaking sound. The steps made noise when you stepped on it. She heard that. And she said she was half asleep. She said she arched her eye open just a little bit. She said that's when she seen this thing up close and what it was for the first time. She said while her eyes was open just a little, she see this thing walking up the steps on 2 feet. She said, so when this thing walking up, she hurry up. She closes her eyes. She don't move. And she say she just sat there like she was asleep. But she could hear everything. Said this thing got up on the top and it walked. And it walked around over there to her. Now, mind you, she say she's fake sleeping. She said she didn't open her eyes for nothing. She said so while she's sitting there, she said she was so scared, she didn't know what to do. She said, but the one thing that she didn't do was move or open her eyes. She said, so then this creature comes over there. And it started sniffing, making that, the sniffing sound. She said, then this thing kneeled down towards her. And it started sniffing her hair. And she said, when this thing did that, she said she could smell the breath on this creature. She said it was horrible. She said it smelled like, she said it smelled like blood. Like raw meat. She said it just stunk real bad. Saying this thing was just sniffing. She said, but she would not move. But she was so scared. She said she didn't move at all. She said when this thing was sniffing her, she said she had to go to the bathroom so bad. But she didn't want to move. So she trying to hold this. She said, so this creature then turned and it walked back off the back porch, walking up towards the flower garden. She then eased her eyes open and she seen this thing from the back. She said this thing was so wide, it was ridiculous. She said this thing had legs bent back like a dove. She said this thing had shoulders, a broad back, and the neck on this thing was just, she said it was just funny. She said because it was like it was tilted, like towards the front. She said then this thing had a lot of thick hair in the back. A lot of thick hair in the back, like the neck and the shoulder areas. Like a mane. That's what she said. She said so she watching this creature from the back walk back up towards the tree line. She said when it got up towards that tree line, she said this creature turned. When it turned, looked at it in our direction. Stood there for about 30 seconds, turned, this thing dropped to all fours. She said this thing just shot straight through the tree line. Straight through the tree line. So she gets up, hurry up, goes in the house because she got to use the bathroom so bad. Goes in there, she used the bathroom. She's scared out her mind. She say now she don't know what to do. She don't want to move because she found her dream house. She said she don't want to move. She said that this thing didn't touch her and it could have. She said this thing didn't touch her. Listen to what I'm saying. She said this thing didn't touch her, but it could have killed her. But it didn't. So she said she in the house. So she calls a close friend of hers. You know, somebody that she could confide in. And she said that it's something I have to tell you. So her friend said, okay, tell me. And she said, look, before I tell you this, I'm not crazy and don't judge me. She said, I love you and I would never do that. And she told her what she saw and how close this thing came to her. And she asked her, what should she do? Should she move? Should she leave? And she said, what do you want to do? She said, I want to stay here. This is my home. And she said that this thing could have did anything to me, but it didn't. So she said, there's your answer. Keep it. So they hung up. And, you know, she just was just thinking about this creature all day long. You know, she would go to the back, look out the back, see if she see this creature. You know, she say sometime this creature would be standing up there in the tree line, that same position, like it was waiting for her to bring food out there. So she said about a few nights later, she was laying in bed. She said while she was laying in bed, she heard them taps again on the window. That, that, that. She paid no attention. She hears it again. That, that, that. Still don't pay no attention. So she said after a while, said the tapping stopped. Said when the tapping stopped, you know, she just continued to just lay there and do what she was doing. So she said she got up to go use the bathroom. She went to go use the bathroom. And she said on her way out the bathroom, she heard something fumbling with the back door. Fumbling with the back door. She heard something fumbling with the back door. So she's saying in her mind, Is it this thing? Is it trying to come in my house? She said, but after the fumbling, she heard the fumbling for a while. She said, then it stopped. She said she stood there for a few to see if she would hear it again. She said she didn't. So she turned, went back in her room, and she laid down. She said she stood up for a few more hours, then she finally fell asleep. She said the next day, she gets up, she goes out there, to her garden. Then she sits on the back porch. She don't see this creature. Creature ain't up there. She said a month had passed, not seeing this creature. So she said one day she gets up, same routine, she goes out there. And when she goes out there, she sits on the back porch. She looks up there and she see this creature. After all that time, she see this creature again. She saying this creature's standing up. She saying and it's standing up near a tree. And she said that the tree that this creature was standing up near, this thing had its arm like around it, like it was hugging the tree. Had one arm around it and had the other arm hanging like down in the front. So she watching this creature. Said that's when this creature took its arm off the tree. She said then this creature walked. It walked down and it stopped right there just above her flower garden. And it stood there and it just looked at her. It tilted its head, looked at her, put it back up. Tilted again and it put it back up. So she say she watching this creature. And she said, and this blew my mind because I have had other sightings that said the same thing, and I truly 100% believe these people. She said this thing just looked, and it's like it peered straight into her eyes. And she said this thing didn't move its mouth. It didn't do none of that. She said this thing looked dead in her eyes, like it was just looking through her soul. And she said this thing, it's like it just like it went straight in her mind. She said this thing said, I'm not here to harm you. Now she looking. She do not see this thing mouth moving. But she said she could clearly hear these words. I'm not here to hurt you. She said she froze. She said she couldn't move. She said when this thing said that, it turned and it walked back up in that tree line. She said that messed her head up right there. Said she got up after about 5 or 10 minutes, went in the house, went in her room and laid in that bed. She said after that, the next day, she didn't see this creature. She said, but those words haunt her to this day. Because she said this thing did not move its mouth. And that's her encounter. And like I said, and I say this to everybody, man, I believe every single word she say, because these creatures are intelligent. These creatures aren't dumb. These creatures are smart, way smarter than us. That's why they so elusive. That's why it's hard to see these things. When you go looking for something, you ain't going to find it. You're not going to find it at all. If these things want to be seen, trust me, you will see it. But that's the encounter, man. And I hope y'all like it. Give me some feedback. If I can, I'm going to try to shoot y'all one more out tonight. But let me upload this one too. And we'll see what happens. Bye.